Good morning and welcome to War Thunder's website. I'm Old Dead Man, your host. We've got a few things going on today. They came out with It's Fixed number 13 yesterday, but there was a few other items that came out as well that I think you probably want to know about. First up, Naval Enduring Confrontation Saipan is up till the 19th. So jump in there and check it out. Looks like we got to try out some of the new economy they promised in a recent update patch notes. So check it out and let me know what you think about it. Second thing is, they've got planned economy changes coming this month. Right after they did the BR changes, it's now time to fix up the economy to match. The full table and all the analysis I'll be doing later today or tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that video, but you might want to keep an eye on these changes, some of which have already been reflected in the BR changes. The M8 HMC is moving to rank 1 before the M3 GMC. The Jagdpanzer 4.5 and the Jagdpanther are switching places. The M48 Super and the KPZ-70 are switching places, which was already mentioned in the BR changes notes. The M4 748A Germany moved to rank 3. That kind of ticks me off because, let's cut to the chase, there's an awful lot of American M4s that are below that rank 3 line. But anyway, Valentine All Series are combined in a group and placed before the Matilda 3. Thank goodness. That means more of those really slow tanks you don't have to grind through. The Achilles has moved to rank 2. Yeah. The 3-inch gun carrier has moved before the Achilles. The Charioteer Mark 7 has moved before the FV 4202. The Centauro 1-105 is moving to rank 6. The Ariete PSO and Ariete switching places. That one's also been mentioned before in the BR changes. As is the LA-15 and LA-200 switching places. That's also was mentioned before. And the MiG-17 is moving to rank 5. They're also planning some changes to premium vehicles, which I will analyze at the same time as I do the rest of the chart. That'll be, like I said, later today or tomorrow. They need to tell you about these because you paid for these things. So some of these premiums will be changing numbers to match the current way the economy is working. Will that mean they're better, worse, or indifferent? I don't know. And they've got a new formula for calculating activity. I'll go through this later, but let me tell you this, it gets more complicated, and my gut feel is it means that it's going to be harder to achieve those activity levels. Okay, so that takes me to rewards for useful action in aviation simulator battle modes. This is a lot of a rework of that whole system. They're taking the old system, basically chucking it in the bin, and giving you a new way and how they're supposed to be working these numbers. The way the numbers are phrased just indicates that there could be some more limitations. On the other hand, I've not gone through a full analysis yet. I want to see what this looks like before I give you the full enchilada, but here's the write-up in case you need to read it through. Link in the description. And as you know, when they change the BRs of everything and add a new rank, well, they do reduce those research costs for aviation. This time they're telling you it's not happening until the next economic patch in late August or early September. So keep that in mind. Those vehicles that you might already have been researching, they're not going to drop in value in research point cost until another month and a half or so. So keep that in mind. Some things you might want to put off and wait, or you might want to grind some lower tier stuff instead in another country if you want to just avoid having that frustration right there. That said, it's changing nothing about what I'm playing. So, whatever you'd like to do. So let's pick up with It's Fixed number 13, and there's a couple of doozies in this one, so let's go through them. First up, hole aiming has been reworked. You and I both know that the hole aiming on those vehicles, those Swedish vehicles that had no turret traverse at all, has been a thorn in the side of everybody, especially those that spent good money on things like the VT-12. They've ripped out and reworked that whole system, and from the feedback I'm getting, it even works at least much better on hillsides and the like. So try it out. If you've got one of these vehicles, try it out, let me know how it is. But the feedback I'm hearing is that it is much improved. All right, the info cards for shells have been improved some more. In this case, they're dealing with some of the differences in how it reflects thicker armor with normalization and denormalization. So they're just redoing a lot of that stuff right there. This is a newish feature, so how it works will be constantly changing. That said, I think these new cards are pretty awesome. They do give you a good visual of what happens, and so they've refined the way it looks, and they've made things work a little bit more like they do in game. My personal favorite is this particular line right here. Yes, armor penetration calculation in battles worked well and correct from the beginning, all the time. Not counting all the times they've reworked the entire penetration and calculation things and the implementation of the DeMar formula and the fact that there's error bars or RNG on exactly how much you're able to penetrate. But it's worked well said all the time. It's always worked. There was a bug that I didn't bump into where if you switch between the different sets of sights, you would lose control of the gun at times. They fixed that and you're back to normal. Damage to the crew. In this case, they're talking about how a certain situation where a shell would have gone through something and then ended up being destabilized so much that it would do no damage. It would often look like it hits a crew member and does nothing. Well, they've fixed that. And they've made it so that if the shell will stop dealing damage, it will no longer show as disappearing into a crew member. I don't think there's any actual change to how it worked. They say that there's some changes there, but it looks more like they just made it so it doesn't look like the crew is sucking up that shell and going, good breakfast. All right, so let's move on. Gun blocking with separate brake controls. There are many fine gameplay settings in the game, including an option of vertical aiming blocked by braking. I never knew this option even existed. I'm gonna have to go see what my setting is on it. But this means that when you hit the brakes, the gun will not try to move or traverse to your mouse. It will actually lock it in place. So the gun should drop and hold its position until you let go of the brakes, and then it'll start trying to aim again. So it should lock it in place when you hit the brakes. And that is awesome because often I hit the brakes when my gun is sitting on target. So if I hit the brakes, come to a stop, when I come back up, my gun should be on target instead of wobbling up and down trying to catch up with the mouse. So they've added some additional features here. In specific, if you use these left and right brakes, it would sometimes not function properly. So in this case, they fixed it, and so now when you hit either the left or the right brake, the gun will no longer try to follow your mouse cursor during the braking process. Should be fun. I'm gonna have to go see what my setting is on this. Now this they phrase this one in a fun way. I enjoyed the way they phrased this. Unjust tribunal. No one likes deserters, and combat-able players get temporary crew lock by leaving a battle before time. But until today, the punishment might be imposed even if all your vehicles in the respawn window were listed as too expensive for respawn points. Why did this happen? Secondary armament and armor-piercing belts on aircraft increase the respawn point cost, but upon leaving the battle, the punishment was imposed at the cost of an aircraft, excluding suspensions and belts. Now your choice of the main weapon for a particular aircraft will be taken into account, and if you initially selected specific suspensions in the hangar or used them in the last battle, then in the next battle you will not be punished when leaving the battle in case of a lack of RP. Succession your battles and try not to let your comrades down. I still am not sure what they mean by succession your battles. I'm pretty sure they mean keep fighting. But that just makes me laugh because that is really bad English no matter how you slice it. I'm going to have to let this one stand as it is. I think the way it's phrased is poorly done again, and I'm going to see if I can figure out what this actually means in a productive way, and I'll let you know if I do find out. I'll put it in the comments as I get a response on that, if possible. And they've got the full change log, which you'll probably be interested in checking it out. I'll leave the link in the description below. And that's everything in War Thunder for today. If any of these catch your particular eye, I will be getting through the planned economy changes in a near future update, but I would definitely be interested to see what you guys think of the Naval Enduring Confrontation and of the air simulator or air simulator battle rewards. Let me know. Hit me with the auto thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and you would like more like it. You have a great rest of your day, and we will see you in War Thunder.